Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
Happy New Year's, Happy New Year's, Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's to me. Happy New Year's, Commander. Happy New Year's, Chicky. Uh, as y'all now know, the calendar year has been changed, and so too should our mindset. So too should our actions be in that frame as well. A new year, a new look on things, right? We know that last year a lot of things may or may not have gone our way. But the one thing we probably didn't do enough of was completing the task that we had set forth in the first place. So let's just make 2025 the year of completion. What do I mean, the year of completion, right? Completion. The act of completing the task that you have presented or made in front of you, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to do the biggest of completions of your set goals or your improvement of life or the situations that you have to look ahead of, right? One of the things that we have to do, people may have a nonchalant way of looking at it, right? When people say write the vision and make it plain, that's a step in the right direction because you're mapping out something to be completed, right? For example, if you say, you know what, I'm going to save $500. Realist, Happy New Year's. I'm going to save $500 within the first 3 months of the year. That's a task. That's a goal. Now your job is to complete that task or goal. I know a lot of us have been to school, and I know when some of us went to school, the first thing on your blackboard was an aim. What are you aiming for? What are you shooting for? What is the goal of the class? That's the starting of the day in school. Well, we need to have that mindset for what are we trying to complete in this year, right? Shout out to Meek, right? Because Meek was very worried about her 2024 in the beginning of it, right? She made a move and, she made a move to a different space, a different environment where, you know, she wasn't familiar with. And, I would joke about it, like, you know what, Meek, just stay there. Everything is going to change. She's like, I don't know, it need to change fast. Sometimes when you sit still, right, you can complete your goal without even taking a step. Sometimes it gets drawn to you, right? And that's one thing, I was so proud of Meek when she got things going in the right direction. It's very easy to give up on the goal. It's very easy to give up on the task that you have set forth. I'm not going to say resolution because I know when you say a resolution, people will give up on that quickly. But if it's a goal, if it's a task, if it's something that you feel the need to do, you're going to do your best to complete it. Right. So even when she was going through that situation, she would come on live and she would have the discussion. And sometimes, I would just say things to encourage. Right. For me, that was me, showing the love and support. But the fact that I was able to be a help with encouragement, for me, that was a completion of my task. to do something to encourage somebody, to uplift somebody, to allow people to know that stay there's somebody here that's going to worry about you, right? But for everybody else, what are you trying to complete in 2025, right? I know for me personally, I want to build or I want to be a part of something that grows a network, a community, whether it's on this app or in everyday life. For me, last year I had a year of harmony. I brought my family together on both sides of the family, right? Now it's about completion. What do I need to complete? Do I need to go out there and set the business up that I need to set up to walk away from my old situation? Or do I get the LLC to legitimize some things and say, you know what? Let's go on out there and turn a dollar in. Let's make $1 out of 15 cents. A 33 brother, Happy New Year's. I didn't even see you pull up, right? But those are the things that we have to do. What are we setting? What are we going to do to make the completion? And like I said, even if you take the first step, right? If you take the first step and you succeed in the first step, you have completed a thing. It doesn't have to be the goal of goals. Everybody has to start from somewhere, right? When you're an infant, you have to crawl before you stand up. Well, first of all, you got to turn over to your stomach. Y'all know the procedure, ladies and parents that are here, right? Your baby turns over to his stomach, right? And then your baby tries to stand up. He lifts himself or she lifts themselves up, right? And then they stand up on their own. They try to get out the crib. They try to walk after that, right? Because they can stand up. Now they start to walk. And then when they walk, they start to run. They are going through their completions of life in infancy mode. Yeah, infant mode, right? And that's the thing that we have to do going forward, right? We ain't gotta run out there and do the things that we need to do. Let's take our time. Let's make ourselves available to go through the process. In math, it would be called the order of operation, right? But in real life, you just have to go through the process. Just go through the process. What do I need to do to stand up and make sure that my situation is going in the right direction? How do I get the foundation started? How do I have the strength of legs to be ready to go through this long march? We ain't gonna go through a trail of tears. We're gonna go through this thing harmoniously and in the right direction. That's what we need to do going into this season or this year of completion, right? Whether it's separating from people that's not gonna help us, whether it's combining with people that's going to help us, whether it's growing into a family or being separated from a family. However it goes, the completion needs to be done. You have to understand that in order to go forward, you have to complete the task in order for you to have that situation go in that direction. Right? We can't keep looking back at 2024. That's behind us now. And if we haven't learned from anything from 2024, we may be in trouble. But right now, take time to sit there and say, okay, let's reflect real quick. Okay, in 2024, what happened? For me personally, right? Uh on the app, you know, shout out to my alter ego, Mr. 33, right? We started a channel over there talking about sports and things of that nature, right? And like I just told them over there, I love the things that I do, right? That's what gets me excited to go on and have those conversations over there. No matter what the sport topic is, no matter what happens, football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, boxing, whatever it is, we can do those things. But the goal is to have a conversation because that's something that I love to do on the side, right? And here I am talking to you guys about the steps of completion, or what do I need to do to complete something? I still have a task to do over here, right? The task for me is to, to show myself credible, to have a community to be formed around me, to be a part of a community, to be a part of something very special in life. I understand that greatness is around me all the time. And in order to appreciate it, I have to step into it. How do I step into it? Having conversations with people, building with people, seeing what people can, how I can help people, how they can help me. And when I understand that we can help each other, shout out to the nine, because a better you is a better us. When you have that understanding, you can complete the task that's in front of you each and every step of the way. Right? Now, if we say, you know what, my goal is to have two or three people to come around me and say, hey, let's build. Let's have a conversation. How can I help you build yourself up? Right? People ask me, how do I build my, do I want to be monetized? It doesn't matter to me. The goal is to make sure that people get the message that is coming out of me, right? To help yourself to improve, to help yourself become a better version of you, to be the best you that you can be, to understand that you are the storehouse and everything that you need is already been given to you, right? Because it has been embedded in you. It has been given to you at birth. So, in order for you to activate it or to complete the stirring up of your gift, you must practice on it, right? And that's what we need to do. We can't complete something without practicing it first. So, every day I come on YouTube, every day I speak to people in real life, I must present myself as I am trying to be the said person that I am portraying in my everyday life. Hey, sir, how you doing? How you doing, ma'am? Is there anything I can, what? Because people may not believe it or not, because some people just approach you and say, you look familiar. And they'll just start telling you stories about themselves. And I'm like, I don't know you, but let me be who I said I was going to be. Okay, ma'am. Have you thought, what do you think your next step should be? Okay, well, then if you try it, then here's my number. Go ahead. If you need to talk, call me. Sir, the same way. Sir, you need something to eat? Come on, let's go get you something to eat. No, sir, I'm not gonna buy that alcohol beverage for you. I'm gonna get you something to eat. Oh, I got you. I got you. I ain't even man, I was over here. Don't do that. Oh, wait, cancel. But yeah, it's just something about your season of completion that you must do in order to, to get to the goals and the destinations. Like I joke with Meek all the time, but she has a season of completion that she needs to do. And I really believe I know she's gonna do it, right? Because like I said, I've been joking with her about this for a while. But even she has to say, you know what, I can't stand him because he did say that, and then it came to pass for me. It wasn't no harm in it. It's just the fact that sometimes when you do things in decency and in order, you're going to get the completions that you need to do. When your obedience is your sacrifice, you're going to get the completion that you need to go going forward. It's not about me being right, it's about it being right. And when it's right, it's because you are doing the things possible for it to be correct. So those are the things that I'll be talking about when I say completion. The completion is needed, right? And going forward, you have to, like I said, you have to understand what it is that you want completed. If you got to map it out, that's your first step of completing your task because you took the time to map it out. You wrote the vision, you made it plain for you to understand. It's not about what everybody else got to understand, it's what you got to understand. And if somebody's going to join you, you're going to have to make it understandable for them to assist you in the making the completion happen. What up, though, Nine? What up, though, my 33 brother?
What up, though, bro? You alright?
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm chilling, man. Happy 2025. We know. Some people don't celebrate this. We know some of the numbers is off and all of that, but I'm glad to hear you. I'm glad you feeling a little bit better. I was, kind of worried about you. You know what I mean? I know you've been going through a little episode or two, but like I said, I'm glad you're here, man.
I appreciate that, man, and I appreciate you checking on me. Realist, man, I appreciate that. Everybody who checked on me, man, I appreciate that, bro. I couldn't talk for 2 days, man. Oh, you heard the fireworks chicken? Oh, we got them here too. Everybody shooting off fireworks, man. But yeah, I couldn't. The lymph node right under my TMJ joint, it swelled up, and I couldn't even move my jaw, bro. But shit, I'm good now.
Mm,
Swelling came down. Got the antibiotics in me, so I'm doing better. I'm doing good. I'm blessed, man. I'm
I'm,
still here, rocking with y'all. So I just had to take some
I'm
time off. Man. I had to get myself together, man. I was fucked up, but I'm about at 60%, so I'm good.
Yeah, like I was telling you in the background, man, like, yo, don't even worry about this scenario over here, man. If I gotta, when you have a support system, man, it makes the completion of a task even more suitable. You don't have to be hands on 24/7, 365, right? And that's the thing that I want people to grasp and understand as well, man. When you become that community, when you become that tribe or that village or however people want to portray it, right? It lessens your load so much. But we have to get out of that individual mindset, like, yo, I gotta do it by myself. And you don't have to, because if you are who you are and you are a pure and genuine person, the assistance will come every which way you need to come. But you got to be able to accept it and willing to embrace it, and not look for the other shoe to fall off, as many of us do.
I appreciate that, Meek. I appreciate that. Hey, that's facts, bro. All my life, man, I had to do everything on my own. Or that's how I looked at it. But then I had to realize I just had to find the right people. It's not about doing it by yourself. It's about finding the right people who can help. And that's why I appreciate y'all, man. Just rocking and rolling with me, just believing in me, man. And this gonna be a big year, man. I felt like on the individual level, I failed, but on the grand scheme of things, we put the nine together, so that's a success. So now it's just taking it to the next level, and that's what I'm ready to do. I had a lot of time sitting back, just looking and watching things, and I done picked up some stuff and learned some stuff, so I'm ready to implement it. So 2025, man, we go bust in the dough. We go do the damn thing.
Yeah, shout out to Taste. I seen her. She was at Mr. 33 chat a little earlier, and one thing about her, man, she's very talented, and when she has the time, she's willing to embrace conversations, about numerology and things like that. Because without her, I wouldn't know what a 33 is, right? And we greet each other as a 33 because we have that number, together. And going into 2025, we know that equals nine, and that nine is important for you as an individual, and as for and the rest of us as you know collaborators, members, affiliates, and things like that. So I want people to understand, with that nine, we have to have the completion at hand. We have to start making things work and adjust to the things that we need to do going forward to make this an acceptable year for each and every one of us, and to bring it together to complete the task that we have for our each and every one of our lives. So I just wanted to come on here and just have this conversation about it, because, like, in all reality, I know a lot of us felt like we missed a lot in 2024. We had a lot of chaos. We had a lot of losses in life, right? And that's true. We do have losses in life, but now it's time for us to not to be disrespectful, right? But we can't do nothing for those losses that we had, whether they're individuals or whether they're situations, right? We have to leave them where they are, and continue to go forward. And if they're individuals, like a loved one or or an affiliate or things like that. We're going to have to do the things that they know, that we know that they will want for us to get done, right? And that's to go forward and continue the task that we have in hand.
And you know what? I look at it like this too. You know, the losses that I had in 2024. You got to remember what 2024 was. It was a rebuilding year. So I don't even feel like it was a loss. It was just making room for the right things to come in. So the wrong things was revealed, and we got those things out the way. Now there's enough room for the right things to come in and be comfortable. Because why create space and it's chaos in the midst of it. So yeah, that's what 2024 did for me. Just looking at it, the things I did lose, they had to go to make room for the right things because with the wrong things in that space, the right things wouldn't have been comfortable, had the right nutrients to grow. So it's like pulling weeds out of garden, you know. When you pull the weeds out, it clear up more space for you to put seeds in that can grow and be fruitful. So that's all we did. 2024 was that the weed removal. Now it's time to plant them beneficial seeds.
I totally agree with that, right? So for me personally, right, I always say win one, right? So that's going to be, that's already been my goal. I believe that I'm completing it the more and more, even if the numbers don't say so. I know something that I'm saying is going to resonate with somebody. I don't care if it's somebody that, you know, they in the bushes, they in the clouds, they in the raptures, wherever it is, if it reaches one, I'm doing my part. I'm completing my part. Now, what we need to do together, we have to continue the task, right? We want to build a community. We want to build a network of like-minded people to come together and do things like that, right? So we're gonna have to stand on the foundation still. We still gonna have to go out there and let it be known that hey, we still here. We may not have to do the work that we thought we would have to do, but the efforts and the consistency is going to allow these things to come together. And that's the completion that I'm looking forward to. If I only get 12, one out of each month, then I've done my part. And that's the thing that, like I said, we're not starting from the bottom, but we ain't starting from the top either. We just going to work our way to the top. With greatness, you got to start from somewhere and climb your way up. And I'm willing to do that.
And Commander, look at it like this: 2024 was just you understanding or identifying a weed. 2025 is for you to remove them. Now it's time for you to complete the weeding. So now you good, sis. You good. Hey, and I'm telling, hey, Chicky, look, I'm in the suburbs now. If I was still in the hood, we didn't shoot fireworks. We let rounds go. So this is kind of pleasant hearing the fireworks versus the bullets.
Yeah, it's just and sometimes that's exactly what we need, a change of scenery to allow ourselves to have the proper time to assess things, to observe things, to get the discernment to make things plausible and allow it to manifest into our lives so we can have a goal to complete in the first place, right? You know, coming from coming from the city of New York, man, it's so hectic. It's so much. It's so many people that you have to get around, and you feel smushed and getting on the train, and you got 90 people on one pole just to make sure you don't fall down. Sometimes when you get to those suburbs, whether it's Long Island, Westchester, Yonkers, wherever, if you leave the state, wherever you go, right, you have that room to see things in a different aspect. You don't have that clutterness around you. You don't have the sweaty palms on your hand as you going through things. You don't have the rudeness because somebody bumped you. They don't say excuse me type scenarios. You just need a different scenery so you can see things in a different light. So, Brooklyn, yeah, you already know about Brooklyn. Riding that J train, the 3 train, the two. You already know. Shout out to New Lots, but I ain't trying to go over there. But this the thing: when you get away from the normalcy of a thing, you get the right and view a thing because it's so much clearer and it's not the same hustle and bustle that you used to. So you got to get away from that in order to have some type of clarity, so you can start whatever goal that it is that you're trying to start. Bronze, Happy New Year's, good morning, good evening. You know what I
Happy New
mean?
Year,
So,
fam. What up, Brian? Appreciate you, bro.
even with that being said, like you have to have that common ground. You have to stand on your foundation in order for you to have that goal to assess and break it down and put it together and make it plausible for you to complete. And that's a thing that we have to do going forward. Like for real, like I said, a lot of us may have thought we failed or we didn't do enough to get things done in 2024. But now that the time has moved, okay, I get it. Like I said, everybody may not say this is the new year. We know that conversation already. That's cool, but that don't mean you have to start in that new year. You could start anytime you want. That's why I'm saying the season of completion, because the season don't happen at January 1st. It don't happen on April Fool's Day. It don't happen, June 1st. It can happen whatever season you want to prepare it for. You have the opportunity to make your own season. And now you have to make it manifest to where the completion is right there at your doorstep. But the question is, are you going to open the door to allow it to come in?
Yeah, this the year of action. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, are you gonna open the door? That's action. There's a lot of things that we could or should do, but we don't take the action. So this year is about doing. People say faith all the time. It's time to have faith in ourselves that the Creator put everything that's needed within us for us to accomplish what we set out to accomplish. And if it ain't in us, we need to put it in us. But the Creator, listen, man, you can call him God, you can call him Creator, whatever you want to call the divine entity, but it's always with us and is always taking care of us. It's just us. It's up to us to identify it and know and have faith in ourselves. Having faith in ourselves is having faith in the Creator, man. People don't look at it like that, but that's truly what it is. If you got faith in yourself, then you know the Creator got you. So I mean, it's time to step out. Like man, I ain't even trying to be dramatic and none of that stuff, bro. But they told me because the infection was in my lymph nodes. That you know what your lymph nodes is. That's a direct from where it was at is a direct spot to my brain, bro. And I kept having these headaches. And the infection was almost in my brain. If I didn't get to the hospital and they didn't give me them antibiotics, bro, I could have been thinking it's just something simple for my shunt and that could have took me out. And I'm stubborn, bro. I hate going to the hospital, but I got up and went. And the doctor looked at me and was like, "You lucky." And I'm like, it ain't I'm lucky. Is the creator told me to go ahead and go and stop being stubborn. I could have been out of here, man. It ain't meant to be like that. I'm here to do some stuff. So I'm ready to do it. And I know I got I just need one person, bro. And I know I got my brother. I just need one person to have faith in me and rock with me, and I'm good to go. So we gonna rock out this year, man.
I definitely agree with that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, sometimes people have to understand, that your conscience is your first preacher, right? It's telling you, yo, I think you better get up. You better not do that wrong thing. The right thing is for you to go that direction, right? It's something that God has left in, you know God, I'm gonna say God. There's something that God has put inside of you, right? Everybody keeps saying the faith is inside of the mustard seed, but people don't really understand that a mustard seed can sprout and grow into something big. right? Shout out to Meek because that's our favorite word, big. Meek, we doing something big in 2025. Let's get to it, right? But anyway, when it sprouts out to become something that is no longer that small little seed that we once thought it was, we have to take care of it. We have to keep looking at it. We got to keep, nurturing it in order for this thing to be healthy and well for us to go forward with it. And that's part of the process of completion, right? When you do the things that you need to do and the development shows the good fruit that you wanted to, your completion is already set. You just have to take those steps to do the things that you need to do in order for that operation to happen. So everybody has to ask themselves, is this where we want to go? Is this the way that we need to direct ourselves? Are we really trying to do this for the right reasons or the wrong reasons? Because completion can happen. It's a duality word. You can complete something incorrect and rock with it, or you can do something right and rock with it. I'm not talking to those people that want to do the wrong thing, that want to stay in chaos, that want to be in mess. I'm not trying to build mess. I'm trying to build joy and peace and comfort and harmony and things of that nature. But if that's what y'all want to do, y'all, God bless y'all. You know what I mean? Go ahead and do what you need to do. But this is not that avenue that I'm trying to talk about. I'm talking about people that want to do something with themselves and things like that.
Hey, Meek need 19. I got three. I got three for you. I think I got three more channels. How many channels I got? Well, I know I'm gonna get you there. We gonna help you get you there. We gonna help you get you there. And that's yeah, man. I've been sitting back looking at everything we've been doing on here, and I'm doing some stuff off here, and it's just this year was set up to reveal some things, and I got to do better. You know, there's a lot of things that I looked at, and the results is what I didn't do, or what I didn't do enough of. So, like you said, I completed some things in the wrong way, but it took me to do it the wrong way to understand how to do it the right way. So, that self-evaluation is a big thing. You know, accountability. Things ain't gonna always work out the way you want it to. But that don't mean it can't work out. Just the way you're trying to do it might be wrong. So it's about evaluating the situation, evaluating yourself. Everything will come down to self at the end of the day. That's the only thing you can control is you. So if something ain't going right in your life, you got to look at what you doing wrong or what you doing too much of the wrong of. Sometimes it's just like for me, I share that on a lot that I got in a couple days. But yeah, well yeah, that's it, bro. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, yeah. But shout out to the understanding of you knowing that you went that wrong way. There's a lot of people that can be stubborn and say, you know what, I don't care if I'm making a mistake. I'm still going to stay on it. You know, I think it was, well, I know it was you that said this a while ago, right? Sometimes you don't have to overcome the fears. You just got to go through it so that way if you fail at a thing, right, you can learn from it and then know that if you go down that avenue again, you won't fail at it twice because you know what to look for in that certain avenue that you got to go down, right? And so that's one of the things that we have to overcome the worryation of not succeeding, right? We're getting to the ages of where, you know what, I don't have too much time, right? We see people losing their lives left, right, and every other direction. We don't have the time to sit there and say what ifs. If you can start it today, you might as well start it today. Make it, like I said, make it a vision of yours, right? If you got to make a vision board, do that. I don't. It doesn't matter what it is. You just have to make the steps. You got to start the steps today in order for you to know where you're going with these steps in the first place. And like I said, I'm super excited for a lot of people here, right? But you know what? I'm willing to help them any way possible. Me, you know, we've been talking about you getting back into the hair all year round. But I'm waiting for that special someone to come through. But I ain't gonna shout them out yet. They know who I'm talking about. But when they come out, they gonna get all the attention in the world. Why? Because they earned that respect. They earned the fact that what they've been doing so much for everybody. Now it's time for that to be reciprocated to them. Right? That's another form of completion. Because if you do unto others as you want done unto you, it's going to be given back to you. Your energy gets back to you. However you get it, however you give it is how you gonna receive it. That's another form of completion. The circle the circular movement is there for a reason in that everybody's life, but you have to understand why it's there and how it affects you in your steps of completion. But I don't know. Well, I hope everybody's ready to learn that. But I don't want people to learn that in the hardest of fashions because they're doing things wrong and then wondering why things ain't coming back to them in the right direction. So, like I said, it's just something that we have to look forward to
My
going
bad.
forward. Right.
My bad. I was talking. Didn't realize I was on mute. But as you were saying that, I I remembered this diagram that I created um, to help people understand like cycles and the universal principles within the cycle, right? So like when you said a circle, if you think of a circle, circles have four quadrants: north, south, east, west, right? And each quadrant represents a different rhythm, you know. So when we talk about the universal principle of rhythm, you have ups and downs in life. And if you think about your life, you have good times, you have bad times. And that's a constant cycle motion that we go through, you know. And it depends on the individual what they fixate on. Is it the bad things you go through or is it the good things you go through? That's the hardest part I had to learn about life is understanding that I'm gonna have good times and I'm gonna have bad times. Don't get too high with the good times and don't get too low with the bad times. And once I understood like the stuff I go through is necessary for me to grow, for me to understand, and hopefully to learn from so I can take that information and teach people under me so they can avoid this particular cycle. That's when I found peace, man. And with understanding, if you truly want peace in life, you have to understand, like, you know, and what comes with it. And that law of rhythm, ups and downs, that just comes with life. But the downs are necessary. You know, it's something that has to happen for us to grow, for us to learn. You know, so it's not about letting the down things break you, but let it build you. You know, one of my mantras is my hustle, my struggle is my hustle because I struggled a lot in life. But when I was struggling, I always found a way to make it, you know, to come out of that struggle. So that struggle became my hustle, you know, and my pain, I felt so much pain in life, bro. From people, close family members, my stepdad stabbed me, bro. I looked up to this man. He's supposed to protect me. He put a knife in my chest. My brother, the one I would have gave my life for, my baby brother. He kicked me in the head. That was the blow that took my eyesight. So pain, you know, I've been through it, but it became my muscle. You know, just like when you tear up a muscle, it's painful, but what grows back, that muscle grows stronger. And that's what the pain did for me in life. All my pain made me a stronger individual. But it was my perception that allowed those lessons to manifest within me. You know, not let them take over me, but me take something from the lesson. Me take something from that pain. Because a lot of times when you don't take something from it, it takes something from you.
And that's the thing that even when you saying that, we have to have the completion of understanding, right? You got to understand that balance is a necessity in life. If you don't understand how how much balance is needed to be completed in your life. If you stay on one side, there's no straddling the fence. We don't have to do a balancing act. You understand that the balance in your life is needed. You just gonna have to lean one way or the other. It's like the seesaw. Well, they don't even have seesaws no more, so the kids probably don't even understand what kids nowadays don't even know what we're talking about. But your weight got to lift me up, and if my weight is heavy enough, it will go down, and then we go up and then down. That's the balancing act that we need for completion. But because there is no understanding of what the completion of understanding is, we're never gonna like we don't take the time. We just in a microwave society, so everything is need to be done now, right? And that's the wrong concept, because if it ain't done the way you want it, it'll kill your dreams. It'll stagnate your goals and efforts and momentum, and we don't have time for that right now. And that's another thing that we're gonna have to focus on. We're gonna have to stay away from the stagnant people. We're gonna have to stay away from the ultra moody people, because we don't have time to wait for you to be right for us to go forward. We don't have that time. We have the time is now. The time is like right now. The momentum is telling you to go forward, not to sit there and wait for the rain to come and kill the dreams. So we have to understand why the completion of forwardness is a necessity in our life as well. And hopefully, people take the time and not just dwell on, you know, past issues, but learn and go forward with it. Hopefully that's what's happening. I can't speak for everybody though.
And that's what experience in life is for growth, for learning, you know. So no matter if it's good or bad, you take what you need and go. You don't dwell on it, you don't ruminate on it. That's what bitterness kick in, especially if it's something non-desirable you're going through, like an argument, a beef, a loss, you know. It's hard to lose people, man, you know, physically, like when they out of here, or even when relationships go bad, you know, it's hard to lose people, but you learn from that. Like I said, you got to take something from it. Once you take something from it, the perception of the experience is different. You know, you don't ruminate, you don't dwell, you experience it, you over it, you move forward. You know, a lot of people always say that I'm emotionless, right? Because when things don't work out with people, I just move forward. You know, and it's not that I'm emotionalist. I feel emotions, I feel loss, I feel anger, I feel all that stuff, but it does not benefit me, you know. And when I say care about how you feel, I mean that. I mean, if I say anything and you take heed to it, that's that one thing, bro, that I think go over everybody's head because it sounds so simple, but it's so hard to do. Because when you feel mad, you live in it. You feel angry, we live in it. Bro, we don't think, let me change this mood. But when you care about how you feel, that's what you begin to do. You know, so with me, when I'm angry, man, I put myself around things that make me happy. I don't want that anger in me. I want it out, you know. And until I can consciously think of a better way to move forward in it, I just get the hell away from it, you know. And the more I do that, the easier it is to overcome things like anger and frustration. You know, we all get angry and frustrated. That's natural, you know, but it's what we do with it or what we allow it to do to us. Because if you don't do nothing to it, what happens? It do something to you.
Yeah, and that's just the thing, right? Like for example, we, I'm not saying I took a hiatus, right? But the past couple of days, you go and check, you go in your studio and you check, like, yo, I just lost 3 subscribers. I can't sit there and dwell on what I haven't done. I need to understand what I need to do and go forward. All right. You don't sit there and like, I ain't been on for a week. Now you got to get up and perform the next stage, right? You go on and do your next show, your next content, and when you know that you given the right information, you know you can get it back, right? And that's another thing that we have to do as individuals as well, right? If you know you ain't doing anything wrong, there's no need to dwell on what happened, right? We understand that we get emotional because that person may have left, right? As far as a situationship, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, an associate, whatever. My job is not to dwell on what happened if I didn't do anything wrong. If I did something wrong, I'm not even going to dwell on that. I'm going to examine what I did wrong, patch up what I need to fix up, and then I have to keep going. Because at the end of the day, we all make mistakes. We all fall short of the glory, right? Because we are sinners by nature. We make mistakes by nature. There's no other way of getting around it. But at the end of the day, when you understand what you done wrong, if you did do something wrong, you fix it, you complete it, and you go forward with your next aspect. You go on out there and still be the person that you are. That's why I don't like change, because you can always change for the worse. You can't never improve to be worse. You can only change to be worse. So when you improve for the better. And when that betterment happens, somebody's going to receive the new version of you and embrace it even more. So that's why you have to complete the errors that you made, fix them, and go forward. Like, like you would say, a better you is a better us for a reason. Because if you help me become better, we become better. It's like, if the results is right, I'm not taking the credit for it. The results take the credit for itself because it worked out in that person's favor. So that's why we have to continuously push what we are saying so people can grasp and understand and apply it to themselves.
My bad. I was trying to type in the chat, but it won't let me connect. But Bonnie passed? When did she pass? I was just, well, that was probably a month ago or 2 months ago.
No, this I don't know. This was recent. I think. Shout out to Realist. I think Realist was the first one I heard talk about that.
Mm.
Realist was talking about that maybe, what was that, Monday? Let's say Wednesday, but Sunday, Monday. And I'm like, gee, that's what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying we don't have time to sit back and just sit on our laurels. We have to do things in order for things to go forward. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, you got that person that just passed. We got Pop that's going through what he going through. You know what I mean? It's like it's so many people and so many illnesses that's floating around. We got to work while it's day, because when night comes, no man can work. And I don't think people really understand what that nighttime is. It ain't sleep. It ain't that type of sleep. So we gotta do the things that we need to do to complete them. So that way, if we have children, our children will be left with something greater than what we have today. And that's more important than anything that we can even speak about right now. So that should be the goal in the first place. So I don't know, maybe I'm talking in riddles or something, but I'm just saying we got to complete these things so the kids that we're leaving behind, or the grandkids or the nephews or the nieces, they have something that they don't have to work. They learn from us and be able to maintain it after us. But if we do the work and complete it, they just got to maintain it going forward. But that's just the goal for me, though, or us, maybe. I don't know.
Oh man, can you hear me?
You good?
Okay. Yeah, my phone dropped it, man. Dang, that's messed up, man. But dang, yeah, man. That's what I be saying, man. Life is real, bro. And people utilize the little bit of time we have to argue and beef. It ain't no time for that if you're trying to get things done. So that's why when I look at people like that, bro, I just understand that they ain't got nothing important to do. So this is what they utilize their time with. If you want to see what's important to a person, look how they spend their time. I try to spend as much time with my family because I've been in positions where I was almost out of here. So it's more important for me to spend time with them and do things with them than to use it to try to break somebody else down with a little bit of time they got. You know,
No, but that's what I'm saying, right? Even if the completion of family, we have to remember that they're important as well, right? Now, never mind the fact that people were doing 9 to 5 and then coming home and then they got like 2 hours to spend with their family, and then the kids got to go to bed, and then the parent got to do the whole cycle all over again. That's the thing that we have to build. That's I for me. That's why the community is important, right? Even if it's not in like everyday living, right? The fact that we can embrace each other on here, right? For example, if you going through a situation, right, and I reach out to you and I'm like, yo, you good? It's something you want me to talk about or whatever. And you like, yeah, let's have this, have this conversation, and I'll piggyback off of that or whatever the case may be. I'm willing to do that because it's something that you want to get off your chest. You may not be able to do so at that particular time. Like me and Meek, we've been bouncing off each other so much over the past 15 months. I swear it'd be times like you know what? We sound like we compact, like we on the same page, and I bounce off of what she say and she would bounce off what I would say, and we just hit it. And that's why, like, for me, that's the thing that we need people to resonate the messages that is being received, all the way around, so somebody can grasp or understand what's being delivered out here, right? That's the completion that we need, right? I may not be able to speak like Meek. Meek may not be able to speak like Chicky. Realist may not be able to speak like Word, and vice versa. But if we give it to the people that that we think is going to resonate with, somebody get the message, and that's the most important part of it being right. Is it's not about you getting the credit, it's about the person that's resonating and receiving that message, so they can go ahead and go forward and do the things that they need to do to finish what they need to finish and complete the task that they have in hand.
my bad, bro. I'm just my wife made me a cupcake.
Yeah, nah, I'm just, it's just a goal that needs to be set, right? Make this 2025 the year of completion, right? Whatever it is, like I don't care what it is. If you feel like somebody is not working with you and against you, you need to complete the separation. If you feel like you can rock with that person, you need to complete the unification of that situation. It's just time to complete whatever it is at hand. If you're gonna just take the hiatus off of YouTube, complete that. If you're gonna start another service somewhere else, complete that. Whatever it is. But what we need to do, we need to complete the nonsense. Get away, completely separate the nonsense away from us, because that's not helping anybody. I really truly believe that. It's not a belief. I know it. I don't know what people get from that type of situation. But as we sitting there, saying rest in peace to Bonnie and things like that. Like I said, we've been going through this whole December saying, rest in peace, get well soon, this and that, right? Instead of saying, what, how can we help you? That's why I appreciate the fact what you did for K, KY and Pop, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not about, what, we can all just sit there and nah, we're going to give them the flowers. We're going to uplift somebody while they feel they feel down. Things like that. It doesn't take much to complete it, but the satisfaction of you doing it is better than the completion of the task in the first place. And I think that's what people really need to focus on a little bit more, so that way they can get the job done and be pleased with the actions that they're doing, and understand it's for a right reason and not the wrong. He's still eating cupcakes, bro.
I'm actually in the basement, bro. I'm in chilling in the basement for a minute, trying to get some stuff together. But yeah, man, I'm excited about this year. And like you said, it's the year of completion. I I'm not even I don't even have hope that, people will come together. I'm gonna just deal with the people that do, you know, and and work off of that. People who do come together, we can get some stuff done. If that's what people trying to do, though, you know what I'm saying? It's like what you trying to do in life. All we trying to do is improve self, and in turn that improves the things around us. And I was just thinking about that, about myself. Like I'm sitting up here trying to go live and I'm all messed up. I can't even get my words out. And I'm talking about a better you is a better us, but I'm not even better, to make nobody around me better. So let me get myself together. That's why I took this time off, getting myself together, bro. So yeah, we gonna come back. Commander, I got you. We gonna do the heart chakras. I got you. I've been working on it.
Yeah, and that's and I ain't even we can have this conversation, but I'm telling you all the time, like, yo, go ahead, man, sit down. We listen. I got this, man. Like, don't listen. It's funny that well, it's not funny because I normally do it at New Year's anyway, but I know this is your normal slot, right? And since this is your normal slot, I wouldn't have done this no other time. But because you was down, because you was, you know, you know, you wasn't ready to have it. Well, obviously you are, but you wasn't having it. You wasn't going to have a conversation. I'm gonna bring the new year in with the people. You understand? Like that's just the way I. That's the way I roll anyway, right? I know that's something that you would have done anyway. So it's not like I'm. Nobody needs to worry about being replaced. If you're a unique person, you can't be replaced. All you can do is add to somebody. You can complete a person because their weakness could be your strength, and your weakness could be their strength. If you come together, you can have a great united front because your weaknesses are guarded by each other's strength. And that's the reason why, me personally, I would love the community situation to happen, but to be honest, I'm in one. I would love for people to join it, but it's not up to me. It's up to the people that really want to do it. If you want to do it, please understand you are welcome to do so. But it's up to you to complete the task of wanting to do it. Or if you feel you need to do it, you're going to do it anyway. Complete the task. It's not up to nobody but yourselves. But if I hit one more firework, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Now y'all go ahead and shoot it up though. But that's what I'm saying. People is excited about the new year. They are they excited about what's going to happen in the new year, or are they just happy because they made it to a new year? And that's another thing we have to figure out, right? It's one thing to just make it, but what are you going to do now that you make it? What's Rolo? What's going on? Happy New Year! And that's the thing that you have to look at and come to terms with. You here now, so now what you gonna do with this time? Are you gonna waste the time? Are you gonna set a task and complete it, or are you just gonna be just here? I don't want to be just here. I want to do whatever I can to add to somebody and not hinder them.
Yeah, my bad, bro. Yeah, I ain't want to hear all this noise I was making, but I'm done with it right now. Just trying to get everything straight for tomorrow. But yeah, bro, that's all facts, man. What you gonna do with the opportunity given to you? That's how I just look at life in general. It, bro. When you like my grandmother always said, when you almost lose something, that's when you begin to appreciate it, and that's just life in general. People take time, opportunity, like you said. You're just happy to see another year. Think about how many people started 2024 and didn't finish it. You think they'd be happy just to finish it? They ain't got that opportunity, but you do. What you gonna do with it? You gonna make something out of it? That's what people got to get on, man. Make something out of the time that you got.
Now we're not telling nobody not to enjoy themselves. We're not saying anything of that nature. But in real life, you have tasks that you have to do, right? You got to keep a roof over your head. You got to keep your lights on. You got to keep your heat on. It's wintertime. And they talking about it's about to be cold all across America, right? Even in the South. Quiet as kept. We know it don't get cold down south, but they talking about it's getting cold down there too, right? You got to keep the tasks at hand. You got to complete those tasks in order for you to have those things. Many people don't even have that. You got to think about there's people that has no roof over their head. They got a tent. They got to go through this, and they don't have. They may not have the drive to complete it. Do you want? I mean, it's no shot at nobody, but you don't want to be like that. So you have to complete the task that's ahead of you. You understand? Like you got to do the things. You got to keep the roof over your head. You got to keep You got to keep the heat on. You got to keep the car payment going because you got to go to work. Unless you got transportation like subway transportation or bus transportation, right? You got to do all of these things. You got to complete those tasks. You got to complete them. The completion is a necessity for a lot of people, but not just for that reason alone, but just to get through everyday life. You have to complete certain things to get to your days to hopefully see the next one. So don't play with the fact that you have things to do. You just complete them and go forward with it. If you play with it, man, I'm telling you, there's people that's playing with their health, and now they no longer here to understand or value why they need to take care of their health, whether it's mental health, physical health, emotional, whatever it is. There's people out here, and the kids are getting is being affected too. Y'all think these mass shooters is really happening because the adults is doing the mass shooting at the schools? No, it's kids doing this now. Growing up, well, we ain't even thinking about nothing like that at 15. Go and nobody thinking like that. But because we ain't completing things in our everyday life, we're neglecting certain things. We're neglecting friends. We're neglecting family. We're neglecting the community. This is the results of it. That's part of the completion that we need to fix as well. We need to complete our neighbors. We need to complete our friends. We need to complete our associates. If they don't want it, then we move on. We understand that. We're not saying stay in a bad situation. We're not saying that at all. We're saying that we need to be a completion of something going forward and not backwards. That's the completion that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the completion of nonsense. Like I said earlier, I'm not with the mess. If I see mess, I'll stay away from it. Like I tell you all the time, if I'm not helping you and I'm hurting you, I will remove myself because I'm not doing the right thing in your life. That's the completion that I'm trying to bring into everyday aspects and everyday life. Will I save everybody? Absolutely not. I understand that. But the fact that if I don't put it out there on the table, no one will never know. That's a task that I need to complete on a daily basis. That's just me though.
Bro, I just realized today is Wednesday. Now my wife off the next 2 days. I'm geek. My bad. I just had to ask it. But yeah, bro, I feel that. I mean, like I said, man, I like on this app, I'm supported a lot of people, in life, and I'm gonna treat this app just like I did in real life, and just like in real life, I got a lot of friends and family who they got chaos, man. So I love them. I just gotta love them from a distance. I got mad love for people, mad respect, but yeah, I'm straight, bro. I'm responsible for protecting my own peace of mind and all that. So I do what you do, bro. You know, I don't really dig all into the chaos and the mischief. because I can utilize my time in better ways. So just moving forward, I mean, like you said, with people, that's what I'm looking at, man. How people use their time. If you using it to be productive, that's gonna be the fruits of your labor. If you using it to be in the mess and the drama, that's gonna be the fruits of your labor. That's just what you gonna get in life. So you can't play with it. You can't double dabble in it. Because when you do, I mean, that's what you go get. You go get more mess.
Yeah, put that. Say that again for the people in the back, right? It's not about trying to be rude or disrespectful, right? We I definitely don't do that, right? But here's the reality of life, right? You can't straddle the fence. You can't serve two masters. It's in there for a reason. You're either going to love the one or hate the other, love the other one. Which one are you willing to do, right? And if people don't appreciate the fact that you put that effort and energy into it, right? The one thing that they could never say that they never received it. If they never received it, it's because they didn't want to receive it. They didn't want to understand that somebody was on their side to support them. They wanted to turn somebody's meekness into a weakness. They wanted to turn somebody's good to be evil spoken of. You don't have to sit there and wait for that to occur. You can always uproot yourself and go. The Bible says dust the dust off your sandals and keep it moving. It says that so you don't have to turn that other cheek. Because if you turn that, some people turn the other cheek. There's a fist behind that other cheek. You understand what I'm saying? Or a foot or something to kick or punch somebody out their way. Get away from me. You understand? Everybody not just going to just operate in that manner of all right. I'm gonna just let you abuse me because everybody's been one way, shape, form, or another. We have all been abused. This is the reality of life, and I understand that people want to guard themselves, but to understand the completion of healing is a necessity too. You have to understand we have to heal because somebody hurt me before doesn't mean that somebody's going to hurt me in the future. You know the signs. If you just can't wait to shoot. You can't wait for the shoe to fall off the other foot. So the completion of healing is a necessity too, because somebody did me wrong in real life. I can't expect everybody to do me wrong after that because somebody may want something right for me. But if I'm so defensive that I get offended off of nothing and somebody's trying to help me, I might have missed the boat. I might have missed that elevation that I need to go forward. I might have missed that piece of advice to say, you know what, we could turn $1 out of 15 cents. Why? Because they looked at me funny. I don't have time for all of that. I don't think we have time for that. And I'm saying we as in general, we don't have time for that. We need to put our big people clothes on and go forward in life and complete the things that we need to complete. If we need to heal, let's complete the healing process. If we need to find a way to love, let's complete that process of loving. Let's do the things that we need to do to go forward. We do need to be defensive, but not so damn defensive that everything offends us. We gotta get over that. That's another thing we have to get over as well.
And that's facts, bro. Because a lot of times when things happen, it'd be a misinterpretation or a misunderstanding. You know, a lot of people have perception or they perceive, I mean, they have perception, but they don't have perspective, you know, so they just look out things from their own lenses, but we all different, so we gonna do things differently. So sometimes I may move and you may think it's funny, but that's just the way I walk. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is, you know, and that's due to my life experiences. So that's why I say, man, I know people say it's impossible not to do, but I don't judge people. I just see if it's right for me, and if it's not, then I move. You know, like really say, I move accordingly. I just move around it, bro. I don't disturb it or try to disrupt it because I don't like it or because it ain't for me. No, I just move around it. People be trying to destroy things and people that they don't understand, and it be for some BS reasons, man. People too emotional and don't even got control over their own emotions. The emotion controlling them, and they get impulsive and capricious. They start insinuating things before they even have factual information, bro. And that's why I say, look, that's the legits of what I see on this app. You see people get into it because of a misunderstanding, but they hold it for so long, and then they start trying to prove their assumption right, and then you start. That's where the divide comes. Instead of just listening to the other person's explanation, instead of just talking, something misunderstanding it turns into the biggest fights on here, man. I be like, I mean, for me personally, that happened a couple times, and it's like, nah, that ain't what I was thinking or what I was doing. This is what, and I'm trying to tell the person, and they like, no, you was this, and I'm like, damn, you telling me what I was doing, and I'm telling you, like, you know me better than me, and I mean, but that's all emotion, bro. That's not logical thinking.
And another thing we have to understand too, right, is that just because something is improbable, it's not impossible, right? Because somebody look at you at a way, it's improbable that they may look at you in that aspect, but it's not impossible to think that they wrong, right? It's our job to go ahead and go forward with the accessibility of situations at hand. Just because you think it's improbable, if I feel like it's impossible, it's not impossible, I'm gonna go ahead and make it happen, right? I keep saying the assessment of turning a dollar, making a dollar out of 15 cents. That's a real thing. The grind is real. You got to put the work in order for that completion of the dollar, right? You got to flip the 15 cent. The 15 cent might go to 30, then the 30 might go to 60, then the 60 to $1.20. Now you can start the process all over again. But your completion is that you got to put the work in. That starts the process of completion. And a lot of people don't want to do that work because they are cool with where they're at, right? We all talk about nobody settles for less. A lot of people settle for less because they don't understand that there's greatness in them in the first place. And it's not about we understand that everybody's not going to be great, but if you won't know if you can be great if you never try to be great. The process needs to be in motion for you to even know if you can do it or not. But if you ain't going to try it, you already failed before you even started. So that's a necessity. Liz, happy New Year's. And that's the thing that we have to, do going forward. We got to stop playing with this. Like, what we got all the time in the world. We got to start today because, like I said, tomorrow is not promised.
Happy New Year, sis. What up, though? It's Liz, baby. Man, when you said that, bro, that touched me, bro. Because like I just said, my stepdad. Like even when I talk about my stepdad and brother, think about this, man. You ever really heard me bash them or go in on them? Like, dang, this dang, no, man. I done forgave them, and people be like, "That's weird, bro. How can you forgive somebody who almost took you out?" It wasn't for him. It was for me. I couldn't do that. People think it's impossible. It's not. It's just you just have to have the right skills and tools to do it. That's what I learned from, and understanding why you're doing it. That's what made it important for me to learn how to forget. It took a while. I ain't did it overnight. I ain't gonna lie to you. It took a couple years, but it happened. And even after I forgave him, I started trying to help save this man's life. And I was helping him up until, you know, he did some shady shit with my wife, Kerr, and I'm like, I'm done with you. But I was still trying to help him even after he put a knife in my chest. I'm not mad at my brother. I ain't mad at him. I won't deal with him ever again. I can't trust you. My life is precious to me, and I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where it can be taken. And that's you. You already proved to me that you're willing to do it. So, but I forgave him. I don't deal with him. I don't tell none of my family not to like him. That's their choice. But I ain't got no bad. I wish him the best in life, man. I don't wish no hate, no pain, nothing on him. But forgiving him wasn't for me. I mean, wasn't for him. It was for me. But I learned how to do it. And that's why even I look at my stepdad and I can appreciate him because If it wasn't for him doing what he did to me, I wouldn't have learned that lesson. How important forgiveness is. So now I can just move forward in life, without harboring any hate or animosity towards anybody. If you can do something to me, I get over it because I know it's necessary.
Yeah, I definitely listen. Right, if you understand how many blows and losses you take in life, right? You don't get to be 40 by accident, right? You don't get to 30 by accident or 50 or whatever the case may be. And if we really being honest, a lot of us has wasted half of our life, right? What do I mean half our life? Because some people ain't even getting to 70. We passed the halfway point, a lot of us, right? So we sitting there procrastinating and playing around with it. We definitely got to understand in order to go forward with anything, right? If somebody wronged you, just like you wrong somebody, you would ask for forgiveness. And if they give it to you, all right, cool. That means you get to go on with your everyday life, right? And they get to go on with their everyday life. But the completion of the forgiveness aspect is for you to go forward. It's not for you to keep dwelling on what happened back then. I mean, don't get me wrong. Somebody may trigger it. It's a triggering point for some people. I get all of that. But if you keep going forward, you ain't standing still to be triggered. You ain't standing still to be attacked. And because a lot of people are just standing still, it's hard for them to forgive. And that's another issue. How you doing? Happy New Year. And that's the thing that we really have to understand. If you keep standing still, if you stagnated, the triggering points come across and stop to it stagnate you from going forward.
Hey, shoot, what up, sis? Hey, Rolo, my bad, bro. I seen Rolo in the chat too. My bad. Happy New Year, y'all. Happy New Year. Oh, go ahead, bro. I was just wanted to say what up.
No, I was just saying that we have to understand that the forgiveness, when you forgive somebody, is to go forward. Like, in order to complete something, you got to go forward, right? I mean, I guess, can you complete something going backwards? I mean, I'm not even talking about that in that aspect. I'm talking about completing something going forward, right? To complete your next day, you got to go forward. You can't really you reflect on yesterday or today, and you know that today is going to be yesterday's, but you go forward and you take the lessons that you learned from today and just go forward with it. That's the forgiveness aspect, to keep going forward with it. As long as you say you forgive somebody and you keep dwelling on it, first of all, you ain't forgive somebody. And second of all, you just standing still, sitting in stew. You stewing in that mess still. And that's going to stop you from going forward and completing the task of letting it go. So
That's it. Oh, my bad.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I just want to bounce on what you just said. But check this out. Usually, when people, um, even when they say they forgive and they dwell on it, they haven't learned from it. And that's why they continuously go through it with different people. Keep going through the same thing over and over with different people because you ain't learned the first time you went through it. And that's the creator giving you the opportunity to learn again. But we thinking like this is how people are. It ain't the people. People just being themselves. It's you. You gotta understand why they're not right for you. And until you understand it, you gonna keep getting more examples of people not being right for you, doing you wrong, doing you left and right, because you ain't around the right people. You can't be mad at people for being who they are. Like the people who wrong me, that's just who they are. I'm not the only person they wrong. I'm talking about like close, like even using my stepdad for example. I mean, how do I expect him to love me when I see how he treat my sister? They're his kids. I see how he treat his mother. That's his mom, how he treat his family. And that was before me. So why would I expect anything different from him? So it's not up to him treating me right. It's up to me treating me right and staying away from him. And that's with anybody. I don't care if it's family or friends. If people don't know how to treat you, they just showing you they ain't for you. So it's up to you. You can't force nobody to treat you right. Only thing you can control is you. That's your cue to get the hell away.
That's crazy because that for me, that's just the completion of understanding. I think, I think people take that term understanding and really don't know what it means, because even in understanding, there's growth in that word, right? And just the simple fact that you don't even understand what's being said at this particular time is something that we all need to work on, right? Because if you really understand how important growth is, you wouldn't want to stunt your own growth, right? You would understand the completion of, or the process of completing of growing. You need to understand how important that is because as much as you grow, the smaller things in life, it'll annoy you. It will annoy you, but it won't fester into a problem because an annoyance you can get rid of really quick. All right, I'm over it. Now, when you let it fester into something bigger, that's because you ain't allowing you're not allowing it to move around. You're staying in it. You're allowing it to fester into something big. That's the wrong growth. But if you have growth of understanding how important it is to get away from those situations, how to go ahead and shoot for your goals and your dreams to complete them, none of these things, that these things can't get in your way or they shouldn't get in your way. Now, it doesn't exempt you from being a human being and dwelling on some things. We're not saying that. But if you have that understanding that you're supposed to have, that that's only going to be a momentary thing because even temporary is not a momentary thing because temporary can go on for months. A moment is just what it is, a moment. It shouldn't last longer than a moment. You know, but I'm gonna leave that to my Lexicon 33 brother to break that down. That's his next live for y'all anyway. But y'all understand what I'm saying.
Gary, you set me up. That was dope, dude. But you're right, bro. I mean, people turn moments into things longer, like temporary, or even fixated. They become fixated on things that's only supposed to be a moment. You know, and it becomes their reality. Whatever you put your attention into becomes your reality. It's just what it is. That's why I tell people. I just got a new client, and she came to understand like what it takes to be in a relationship because she an introvert. So I'm coaching her, as far as I don't want to say dating, but it's more like understanding herself to be in a relationship. But she constantly dwells on what happened in the past. And I told her that's not your past, that's your current position because that's what you're thinking of. So you literally looking for things to fit this understanding that you have. So if you say all men are a man ain't nothing, then that's what you keep getting in your life because that's what you fixated on. There's some good men walking right past you and you don't even notice them because you're looking at the ones that you don't want. So that's what, I had to work on is stop putting things in my life or stop fixating my attention on things I don't want. Like you use the term aware. Being aware of something is acknowledging its existence. That's all it is. Or you said understanding. Understanding is being aware. Aware is being noticing that it's in existence, right? So it's okay to notice, like, okay, there's some bad dudes out here, but don't get fixated on it. Just know that they're there and focus on the positive because you'll start seeing shit that ain't there.
I know somebody right now who only see the negative in dealing with me. Hey, then and that's what I'm saying. They have to have that completion of understanding of things. Like you can't. It, it's not a one-sided. People are not one-sided. Even if they are one-sided, that just means they don't know what they lost what they have in them. Right? Somebody can't be all positive that they don't know what negative is, and vice versa. You got to understand that that's a well, that's what word would say. It's a duality, right? You got to have balance. You got to know the good and the bad. It's just, well, I ain't gonna sing the Facts of Life song, but that's exactly what it is. If you take the good and the bad, that's a part of everyday life. That is a fact in life. You got to understand that that must occur in order for situations to be seen in life. Not everybody's gonna be good all the time, and hopefully everybody ain't gonna be bad. Those bad people ain't gonna be bad all the time. Something's gonna have to open up. They're gonna have to find a way to shift their way into a balance of life. But if they don't know how to do that, that's because they don't have the completion of balance. And that's, like I said earlier, that's something that we all need to work on. If you just focus on the bad, you're gonna receive the bad. That's what he just said. If you focus on the good, you should be receiving all good. You shouldn't be attracting the bad. But some way, shape, or form, somebody going to try you anyway. It's just, because opposites attract. But for the most part, you should attract what you desire or what you need. But we attracting some other than a necessity. We're attracting wants, and that's not a good fit for anybody. And to be honest,
And what you just said too, bro. I mean, it's good and bad and everything. It exists. It's not about. It's about what you're focusing on because they both exist. But if I'm only looking for the bad, that's all I'm gonna see. And if I'm looking for the good, I'm gonna see the bad, but I'm focused on the good. The bad is just go pass me by. You see, it's a mindset and a mind state. It's two different things. One is fueled by emotion, the other one is fueled by structure. Right? Your mindset is a structure. Your mind state is impulsive. So if someone has a mind state, they're emotional about their views on the opposite sex, that's what's going to build the mindset. And now you not only have a mind state, but now you have a fixated belief that all men are bad, and that's what happens. And with women, I listen to some of these dudes talk, and I mean the way they talk about women, I'd be like, damn, did you not have a good example of a woman in your life? And if you did, why don't you just focus on that? And all the bad stuff will just bypass you. That's how it is with me. I see a lot of bad stuff every day, but it don't affect me because I move right past it to the good stuff. That's what I'm focused on. So all of it exists, good and bad. It's just about what you're paying attention to.
and that goes on what we were saying earlier, right? People are so they've been in so many bad situations, some might say toxic, right? That they got a good person in front of them and they'll find the smallest thing to separate themselves from that person and make that minor situation a toxic situation, all because they have not completely gotten over the hurt of yesterday instead of, forgiving themselves and moving on to the success of today. They so stuck on yesterday that they don't know how to go forward into today to look for tomorrow. And that's because they ain't complete themselves. They haven't completely gotten over themselves. They haven't completely forgiven themselves. They haven't completely gotten over the trauma, the trials and tribulations. And that's because they are stuck where they at. You know, I know a lot of people, when they go to jail, they come home with the mindset of what it was when they went to jail. And that's because they are they are stuck where they was last at, right? And that's the thing that we have to get over. We have to come to terms today and not be stuck where we was at yesterday.
And that's a fact, bro. That's why I say people get stuck in survival mode because even me, that's why I talk about it, bro. That's something I had to work through. The way I grew up in the environment I grew up in, bro, I was in survival mode. I was trying to make it to that. I wasn't thinking about the future. I wasn't planning for 5, 10 years from now. I didn't have that. I had maybe 5, 10 minutes from now. So that's how I lived my life. So when I got out that situation into a situation, it took a while for me to adjust. Like you said, people come home from prison. Sometimes they stuck in the mindset of what it was like before they went in. Sometimes they still in the mindset like they still in prison. But it's up to that person to adjust. Mm.
And because we're individuals, we have to understand that it may not work. Each situation may not work for each individual, but when you come to an understanding of what a person may be going through, you can observe and help them get through it, not through your eyes, but try to wear their shoes. You understand? Like, well, put your feet in their shoes type of scenario, because at the end of the day, we're two individuals, we're different, but if you take the time to get to know a person, you can help them get through those situations. And if we're not so defensive all the time, we can let somebody in to allow them to study us, to help us get through the situation, instead of being the individual like, I got it, I can do it myself, so on and so forth. But like you said, that's always going to be on an individual basis. We need to come from behind those walls, or those the shadows, or however you want to view them, but we need to come from out of them so we can be able to be accessed and help. We all need help. Just because we born alone and we die alone, don't mean we have to live through life alone.
That's all facts, bro. Cue the violin music for the coming terms with the dead on their own time. Yeah, you know what, realist? I learned that experience. Sometimes you may say something to a person and they may not understand it because they never experienced, they ain't aware. But then when they experience it, then they're aware of it. But that take time. Sometimes it might take a month. Sometimes it take years. But bro, there's so many things that I've told people close to me, tried to show them, tried to lead them or guide them. They just didn't listen. And then 5 years, oh man, you was right. Like I know I was. I'm just happy you finally got it. So, I mean, people, sometimes people get it, sometimes people don't. And just knowing, um, like just having these different experiences on YouTube, I just realized, like, bro, there's a lot of people on here. Um, they're just poor little tink tinks, man. That's the nicest way I can say it. And
No,
that's just it, bro. I ain't gonna never get it.
yeah, not poor little tink tink. Because here's the reality of that too, right? Because it took you to, like, well, we had this conversation before, right? When people ask you for a suggestion, you give them the suggestion or the advice, however it's being viewed to them, right? And then they go all the way down the line. You know what? Such and such told me that before. This is why you have to appreciate the people while they're here. This is why you got to show love to those people while they are able to receive it, or the flowers, or whenever they are able to receive it, because you never know when that's going to be taken away from you, or even if you push it away from yourself, or yeah, you push it away from you. You got to appreciate it, because you just don't know when that view is no longer going to be viewable, or that presence is not going to be presentable to you any longer. You got to understand that if it's here for you now, appreciate it, right? Show the love of and appreciation of it, because it's already here for you, right? Not because of who said it, but the fact that it was given to you. It shouldn't even matter. Embrace it, use it, and go forward with it. But we are so busy looking for nonsensical beefs, stupid talking points of why I don't like a person. Y'all got to get over that. Y'all got to completely separate yourselves from that, because we don't have time for that. Like, we really don't have time for it. If y'all want to make time for that, y'all have at it. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. And that's why, if people, they're going to separate themselves from me because of my viewpoint of that, I have no problem with, all right, I'm still here for you. I ain't got a problem. Like I tell you, people block me all the time. I'll still hit the like button just because, hey, I ain't got no problem with you. Hey, I hit the like button. Go ahead, continue to do what you do. But you know what you're gonna say when it's time? You know what? That person was right. That person was there for me in the beginning. That person helped me, start whatever I needed to start. And that's all that's the memories that y'all like. If something was to happen to you right now, knock on wood or whatever the case may be, I want people to say, you know what, no matter what he did, he was genuine with what he was saying, and he was always trying to do the right thing. I y'all can put that on a t-shirt after I'm gone. But that's what I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to leave that 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 residue of there are some good people in this life. There are good people that's willing to do the things that they say they're gonna do. If he said if he's gonna be there for you, or if you need to talk to him, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there for you. That's what you need. That's what we need going forward. We have to completely understand that there are some good people on this app, right? People want to start relationships on the app, but they don't want to talk about that. People want to started, communities on his app, but that's not being spoken about. Why? Because the minority of the chaos is becoming the majority of the scenery on YouTube. We got to stop that as well.
Yeah, bro. But let me get my butt down here, bro. I appreciate you letting me up. Great conversation as always, brother. Looking forward. I'll probably be back on next couple of days. I don't know if you'll be
All
still
right.
here.
No,
You
you go
still
ahead and get down, man. Listen, you get down because I hear it now, and we need you to get better. Don't rush your ass back up here until you get better. I ain't scared of
yeah,
you, but I'm just telling you, don't rush your ass back up here. Enjoy the time with the kids. There's a few more days left. They gotta go back to school soon, if not tomorrow. So you go ahead, and then you got things that's going back into the regular routine. Get yourself better. We still here. Blended. Happy New Year. Welcome in. But get yourself better, and we'll holler at you later.
all right, bro. Appreciate it. Happy New Year, blended. Happy New Year, y'all. Y'all have a good one, man. Appreciate y'all. I'll be in the chat.
Well, all righty. Yeah. So like I said, we, we to sum it all up, right? We basically started, you know, we ended one year, right? We completed 2024, right? And for most of us, I don't think we all got everything done that we needed to get done, right? We left some things back there that we thought we can get to before the year ended, or whatever the case may be. Even if you don't celebrate the Gregorian calendar, however you view it, right? But for me, the season of completion is not a New Year thing. It's not a resolution. That's why I'm saying it's. That's why I'm not saying it's a season. A season can happen at any given time in your life, right? It just so happens I'm talking about it going into 2025, because your season could last for a second, it can last for 6 months, it could last for 3 months, it could whatever the length is. Just the goal is to complete the goal. What the goal is, to sum it up, right? Whatever your goal is for 2025, complete it. Who knows? You might discover there's a new goal before the end of the year or in the middle of the year. But whatever it is, the task is to complete the goal. So if you got 6 goals to complete in 2025, take it one step at a time. We understand that the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but those who endure. So if you got a lot on your plate, tackle it one step at a time, right? And if you don't have, like, if you understand the completion of a thing, the completion, like I said earlier, is taking the first step towards that goal, right? If you take the first step, you'll take another step. As long as you keep going forward, you can complete the task that's ahead of you. And that's the thing that I want everybody to go on looking into this calendar year in 2025, is to take the steps to complete the task. even if it's a marathon, right? Pace yourself because you have something the finish line could be right in front of you. Well, we're just starting, so you know it's time for us to understand what the race is like. If it's going to be a marathon, if it's going to be a sprint, if it's going to be a fast walk, or we speeding like we're driving, however it is, we need to understand that the goal is to complete the task that's in front of us. Right. The task is always going to be in front of us because if it's behind us, it's no longer a task. We missed the goal. We missed it. So it's not a task for us to go back and tackle. Your task is always in front of you. Just like this calendar year is in front of you, the task is right in front of you as well. So go on and take those steps and hopefully you guys can complete it before year's end. Right. So with that being said, I truly appreciate everybody coming through, stopping by, wishing everybody happy New Year's. And with that being said, y'all, I'm out.